Hey guys, I'm a first year UCL economics student and I make videos like these to help students all the way from year 10 to year 13 get into their dream uni. So TMUA, what and when is this TMUA exam? So I'll start with the basic stuff, like what is it, and then I'll move on to like the tips and tricks. So if you already know all of this, like feel free to skip ahead of the video and get into the tips and tricks section of it. But this will be quick. This will just to get to know like what it is and how it is, like all the information you need, and this should suffice as to the information you need to start a preparation. Sorry. It's a maths entrance exam composed of two papers. You have your paper one and your paper two. Paper one is a more traditional problem solving mathy paper that and it has questions you've been doing like in your entire life basically. This basic maths questions you've been doing, the answer comes out as a number and you select the answer on the computer. It's a computer based test, by the way. And yeah, that's pretty basic. Paper two is more of a logic paper. It has like statements, and this is a paper that requires a lot more self-learning. There'll be more terms and new concepts that you haven't really encountered yet. There's terms like necessary, sufficient, and they use it in a mathematical setting. They have all these notations. It requires like a couple of days for you to get used to it. Like you read the spec, it'll have like complete explanation on what each of those terms mean and how they apply it on questions. So once you've got that down, you can start on the questions basically. Another thing is it's for mathsy courses at top unis in the UK. So your maths, computer science, economics courses, like these courses have these TMA requirements. And now like recently a lot more unis have adopted it as well. It's used in like Cambridge, Imperial, UCL, Warwick, Durham. They use this TMA exam. Paper one has 20 MCQs. Paper two has 20 MCQs. 1 hour 15 for each paper. 2 hours 30 minutes in total. You do this back to back. So yeah, it's quite a stamina, endurance-based exam. So I'd really suggest that you guys like get into the habit of sitting down for long periods of time and doing really hard questions. Because if you do this consistently, you won't get like fatigued during the test, which I've seen lots of students doing that, and their score takes an impact. Like they get tired after that 2 hour mark and their brain just doesn't work to that capacity. So you need to train yourself to work and like really solve problems for 2.5 hours straight and set your mind to it and like not get like tired or anything. The scores from 1 to 9, so it's out of 40 and then they convert it to a scale of 1 to 9. Like guys, I know how badly you would want me to say a number to get, and you just be like, okay, I'll get that score and that's it, I'm done, I'll get into the uni. But it really is not that simple. Lots of like couple of other factors also play a part, and like each course have different requirements. Like okay, I'll give you a general rule. Maths and computer science usually have higher TMA requirements than economics because it's more mathy. And like more competitive courses obviously have a higher TMA requirements. For example, Imperial CS or Imperial Maths or Cambridge Maths, Cambridge Econ, they are usually higher up there. Yeah, so that's I think all the basic and like the logistical side of information you need. And how important is this exam, guys? Very, very important. I can't stress this enough. Like predicted grades are very similar to a lot of candidates. Like everyone's going to be predicted 2, 3, or 4 A stars. Like they're not going to reject you because you have 2 A stars and the other guy has 3. That simply does not happen. That's why they introduced this TMUA exam. It sets as a differentiator. This thing really separates the best among the best, right? Because getting like A star predicted is already a really good achievement in that sense, but they need to further cut it down. So that's what this exam is for. So this really separates the best from the best. Um, so yeah, do really well on this, guys. It's very important, and I would argue that this is almost as important as your A levels, because this is what gets you the uni offer, and at the end, that's what it all matters, right? You do your A levels to get into that uni, and if you don't get an offer, those grades, like, do they really matter as much? Um, so depending on your TMUA score, they shortlist you. They shortlist like you to interview if you have, if the course has interviews. Otherwise, they just give you the offer right away. If not, they'll interview you based on your TMUA score. If you have meet the cutoff threshold they have in mind, and then yeah, you go onward with the process. Yeah, so this is what I wanted to stress, guys. TMUA is very different from A level maths. Um, I know how in A level maths or further maths, like let's take a topic, right? Binomial expansion. You do a couple of questions on it, like practice the technique, and once you've got that down, you really, it's not that hard, right? You just keep on doing a bit more questions and you've gotten the hang of it. Now you're like, sorry, whatever question they throw, apologies for that. Whatever the question they throw at you, you can solve. Like, it doesn't require that much practice, but TMUA is different. You cannot just expect to do all the papers and get the top mark. Now, that doesn't just happen, because there's no like routine technique in TMUA, if you get what I mean. It's testing your problem solving technique. So yeah, I know you guys are like, what on earth is this guy on about problem solving? I've heard it so many times from so many people being like, oh, TMUA test your problem solving. But what does that mean? Right. TMUA test whether you have the ability to apply your concepts and techniques you have accumulated during your A level course onto unfamiliar settings, right? Onto questions normally that you wouldn't see in an A level exam. Can you do that? Can you take that extra step and really apply your knowledge in a different setting? If you can do that, that's very good. That's what they're testing you on, based on, essentially. But how do you build on this technique, right? How do you get good at this problem solving? And in generally, how can you get good at TMUA? Because that's what it's testing, right? So I have a couple of like I've written down a couple of tricks and techniques I feel that really are helpful, and which I did my preparation, right? Because I got like a 5 something in TMUA. I got a 5.2, which like oh, sorry, I got a 5.1, which isn't that bad, but isn't that great either. And like I know that the mistakes I've done, I wouldn't want you guys to do. Like, and these are mistakes that anyone can solve. And if I had this video when I was preparing for it, like I know I would have done better, and I want you guys to do a lot better, right? Um, so yeah, getting back, yeah, how do I get good at this thing? Do past papers will not, just doing them like will not get you a good score. Like the papers are from 2017 to 2023. Lots of people are under the assumption, and okay, I'll admit I was under that as well, just like doing all those and doing all the spec questions, I'll get the best grade and if I understand it. Well, yeah, you might get a decent score, but will you get a score that like just like absolutely sets you on a different league altogether and like gets you like a guaranteed offer? That is dicey. That is dicey. Um, do math papers, guys. There are lots of math papers from 1999 all the way up to 23, right? There's like the MCQ versions of it. Do them, because firstly, the question style is very similar. They're testing you on very similar topics, on the same topics actually. They're both on AS Maths and a bit of Year 13. Um, and there's lots of resources available online for the math papers. You have Matt Source, who's an absolute legend. His videos are great. Like just doing them, like doing them repeatedly, because there's so many of those will actually get you good at maths for the TMUA level maths. Another YouTuber I'd like to mention was R2Drew2. Like he is very quick, concise to the point, which is good, like really good. He has solved all papers, all available papers, and Yeah, like you could do them yourself, and if you don't really know how to solve a question, check his videos out. They're amazing. Yeah, and I'd say like you guys can read the bullet point. Treat TMA papers from 2020 onwards as mock and time them. That's very important because there's not many papers of TMA. Like you might be thinking, oh, there's from 2017 to 23. What am I talking about? But in the grand scheme of things, there's not that many papers, right? If to get a really good mark, you need more resources. And it's a bit frustrating. It's not that many TMA papers. Like they didn't release the 24 ones, but yeah, we can't do anything about it, can we? So yeah, from 2020 onwards, um time them, do them under exam conditions, do it like 2.5 hours, just like close your room door and just do it. Get yourself a bottle of water if you want. And oh wait, actually don't do that, water's not allowed. At my test center, actually it was, but at most centers I believe it's not. So yeah, for some reason, yeah, I don't know why, but it is what it is. um do each set of papers twice. Like do you go from like 2017 up to 23, and then once you finished with 23, go back to 17 and see if you did better. If you did better, really good, really amazing. But if not, then check where you're going wrong, right? Whether you're not understanding some of the questions or the concept is an issue. Check that out. Go on YouTube, or or if you have a teacher that helps you with this, amazing. That is like peak level. But I'd assume if you don't, YouTube is your resource. Another thing which I tell you would be, try to go over their solved solutions they have put out, because while it might feel a bit too intimidating, like try to work through it. And if you go through it logically, it will really make sense, and it's a good way to learn. So yeah, those are your um, ways that you can go about if you're tackling with issues that are not really solved easily. Um, so some more advice. Yeah, if you are someone in year 10, year 11, and yeah, year 10 or yeah, year 11 actually, sorry, and you've just gotten your GCSE grades, and you're just really determined, motivated, and you're like, okay, I want to get into this top uni, I want to get into Cambridge, Oxford, Imperial for like math, CS, or something very quantitative. Start early, guys. Start early. Like the summer after GCSEs, do your AS maths content. And like it doesn't matter where you are at right now, because right now is November. So start like with AS maths content as early as possible, and like try to complete as much as you can quickly. If your school is fast, that's very good. If not, try to do some self-learning. Try to really get ahead of the curve and like learn the content quickly. This is good for two reasons. One, your AS maths gets very strong, right? Because of TMUA, I realized that I didn't have to study for my AS exams, for maths at least, because it became so easy for me. They felt so trivial, the AS maths questions. Like the A level questions became so simple. Like it was so easy getting perfect on the pure papers after doing TMUA, because they felt like, oh, a child's play at this point. And trust me, if you start doing them like the TMUA questions, you will get to know what I'm trying to tell you. Once you finish like 80% of your AS maths topics, start with MAT to get like a feel of the problems. And like it's completely fine if you're feeling lost at first, guys, or even like how to begin a problem and you're struggling with that. These questions are very different from what you're doing. Okay, if you've been doing like Olympiads or math competitions earlier, then you wouldn't see much of a difference. But again, if you've been doing Olympiads and math competitions, this video is not really for you guys. It's for the people that are always been decent at maths, but like have not really reached that elite status yet, and have not really done this competitively. If not, the questions like feel a bit out of our league. Like at first you're like, oh my god, what is this? Like this is completely different. And I want to tell you, like I want to put a hand, like almost a hand over your shoulder, and tell you that it's completely okay to feel like this at first, right? Lots of like I felt like this. Lots of people that I know that have done amazingly well and gotten like 7 or 8 at TMUA, they have felt like this is the beginning. Start, just work through it. It's like grinding towards it, right? Start with the MAT. Once you've done your AS Maths, like 100% completed the topics, and you've done the MAT and somewhat get it, like you can do some questions, right? Then start with the TMUA. The TMUA gets harder from 2017 all the way. Like as time progresses, it gets harder. So 2017 feels a bit more easier and more accessible at first. So that's when you can like really start and ease into your preparation. Another thing which I wanted to mention was graphical understanding is very, very, very important. So this is something I also struggled with. Like I was very good with my algebra. Like I was very, very good with my algebra, but that is not sufficient. Just being able to like do algebra quickly is not enough. Is not enough for you to get your best score. You need to understand how the graphs work, the basic functions, transformations, and everything. You need to get your pen down and be able to do the graphings very quickly. If you can get the graphing skills underway, sketch all your sine, cosine, tangent, and sketch all those transformations quickly and accurately, that's like a lot of marks secured. Like at least I can say like 6 to 7 questions are gonna be based on that. Like, and there's another question which I remember right now. They always ask you how many solutions there are, or a question of that type, and being able to like draw the graph quickly and checking that will get you lots of marks. So yeah, that's a very important skill, and that's sometimes overlooked in the traditional curriculum. So I want you guys to build on that. Like, get your graphs quickly and efficiently and accurately. No calculators allowed. So be quick, be accurate. More emphasis on the accurate part, because yeah, you don't want to like waste your time and get a question wrong because you put a minus sign wrong. And the MCQ answers are in such a way that they'll catch you out. That if something, that the answer is in such a way that if you make a mistake, they will have an answer that is your mistake. So make sure you're accurate and get your minuses, your all those. Don't make those basic mistakes, right? Because that's the most annoying thing. And yeah, guys, you've got this. If you're watching this video, it shows that you're serious about this. Like I know that just you A-level maths, all your A-level subjects, your personal statement, it can get quite overwhelming. But trust me, guys, after you're 13, it will all be worth it. Like this, that feeling of satisfaction is unmatched, right? You guys are doing great if you're watching this, and if you've come to this part of the video, amazing job, guys, amazing. Don't think that you'll get the best TMA score just by doing 1 or 2 weeks of preparation before it. If you do this consistently, like I mentioned, the summer after your GCSEs ideally, and really work on it for almost a year, that is the best thing I can say, right? And just doing consistent effort, like every day a couple of hours, and as you get closer to TMUA, you build up the hours that you study for it. That's amazing, guys. Treat yourself once a while. That's another advice I'd give you. If you love doing sports, after like a good session, maybe play some sports. Or if you love music, play the guitar or piano, whatever music you guys enjoy. Have a good meal. I found that always very helpful. So yeah, guys, all these small things to keep you mentally in a good place is very important as well. And you guys got this. Yeah, that's pretty much it. If you guys want any more different types of video, please let me know in the comments, and hope you guys liked it. Thank you very much.